Welcome to Bandits Keep Actual Play. I'm Daniel. Today we are continuing my original Dungeons & Dragons solo campaign using Chainmail and Outdoor Survival. Currently, the Rangers have approached the dungeon where they know that there's an army of either bandits or orcs, or maybe both, waiting. They found there was bandits. However, they've been ambushed by a group of hero-level bandits. So they're under fire now. Let's see what happens. One targeted number one. So that's a hero. Number one is wearing no armor. So unarmored, and they're shooting with a short bow. I guess they're shooting at like the kneecaps or whatever, because they're trying to capture them. Or they're just bad at capturing people. Probably should do man-to-man combat, but I think it'll just be easier to do with the normally with such a big group, it's better to just do a group. Okay, short bow versus light foot. 1 die per, 6 hits. We'll say, well, let's see. Let's get a range. 5. Okay, so they're in short range, just barely. Okay, so they get 1 extra die. So they're going to get 5 dice. Any 6s or hits. And they only count if they're inside. That is actually no hits. So that's fine. They miss. Against number 2, they're in plate mail. A short bow. Oh, they should have got 1 extra. No, that was right. A short bow against armored foot is 1 die per 3. So they just get 1 die plus 1 for the range. So they get 2 dice. They actually cannot hurt them with that. Oh, no. But maybe that's why there's 3 of them. So each, sorry, let me start over. There's 3 heroes, which is the equivalent of 12 figures. They get 1 die. Can you see where I'm pointing? Yeah, you can. You probably can't read it, but armored foot, 1 die per 3. So they'll get 4 dice. Plus, since they each get to shoot, they're each going to get 1 die for the range. So they're going to get a total of 7 dice. And 6s hit. Okay, they got 1, 2 hits. But they need 5 to hurt them. So they're fine. And the last one person is shooting at number 5. 4, 5. She's also in plate, which means they just get 2 dice. And they have 4 hit dice. So they actually can't hurt them. So these heroes rain down arrows against the party. And the party's like, whoa. And they turn and see these guys in relatively short range. They don't know anything about them. They just know they're being attacked. So I feel like the party is going to retaliate. So let me grab a piece of paper here so I can keep track of this. So we've got 5 heroes. They've got short bows, swords, chain. So I think what we're going to do is, I think we will also return missile fire. So we were surprised, which means that we basically can't return this first round. So next round, we'll get to return fire. Okay, so we're going to return fire, basically. And I think what we're going to do is we are actually going to, the spellcasters are going to throw some spells at them. We're going to throw some sleep spells at these guys. I think I'm going to choose 2 of my spellcasters. I have 1 human spellcaster. Actually, you know what? She has a Staff of Command. She's going to use the Staff of Command. Everybody else has a missile weapon except for the Cleric. The Cleric's going to stand by just in case somebody goes down. So they're going to stand by as a healer, basically, unless they get charged. And everybody else is going to return fire with their bows. So because we were surprised, we go second. But actually, there's no going second because it's simultaneous in this. So I'm just going to do the enemy first, if you will. And we'll go from there. So again, there's 5 of them. So I'm just going to roll to see who they target with their bows. They're going to try to shoot again. Oh, okay. They're aiming at some different people because they weren't successful that first time. Okay, so one of them is targeting this elf, who is in magical chainmail, which means that they actually attack as 1 lower, but you can't attack lower than short bow, which means they're going to have a -1 on the dice, which basically means they actually cannot hit them, I believe, because I think they need a 6. Yeah, against heavy foot, 1 die per 2, 6 hits. So this one just bounces off their magical chainmail. It's not going to be an issue. 2 of them are going after the Cleric. So again, that's an equivalent of 8, but they're going against plate mail, which is, I'm trying to put it where you can see stuff. plate mail, which is, probably can't see it here either, but I'm just gonna, can you see it up here? Yeah, okay. So let's see, short bow against armored foot. So basically one per person, because it's one per three figures, but each one equals, the total of them was only 8 figures. That's, you know, 1 die per, but 2 more dice because of the range. So they get to roll 4 dice against this cleric. Nope, nothing. Bounces off their armor. And the rest of them are targeting this poor magic user over here who is in no armor. They do have a shield though, so hopefully they'll be good. So again, that's a total of, light foot is 1 die per, so they're going to get 8 dice. Plus, I don't have enough dice. Okay, so they get 8 dice. I'll do each one separately. So 5 and 5 basically. So they get 4 each plus a one short range. No hits. 2 hits, but they have a shield plus 2, which removes 2 hits. So no hits. So they're also fine. And again, all the blows are going to happen first. They're shooting back. Our hobbit here has a horse bow. So let me look up horse bow. It's equivalent to a light crossbow. So they're also in short range. Well, they always are. Against heavy foot, 1 die per. So they are 5. Plus, I think they have 1 for their dexterity. No, they don't. So they get 1 for the range. So they're rolling 6 dice. They're going to focus fire. This group is. So they're going to roll 6 dice. 3 hits. Now, again, you may have seen me talk about like heroic fighting and stuff. That doesn't count here because they're fighting heroes, right? So the heroes are not, they don't get those extra attacks against them, extra dice against them. So they got 3 hits. They've got a longbow. A longbow against heavy is 1 die per, but 5 and 6 hits. They're equivalent to 2 figures plus 1, so they get to add 1 to that. They have a dexterity bonus and they have a range bonus. They're rolling 4 dice. They can add 1 to one of them. 5s and 6s are hits. Okay, they don't need the plus 1. They get 3 more hits. This guy, he is the same, but he doesn't get the bonus. Okay, so he has a longbow as well. So he's getting 2 plus 1 and then 1 for the range. So he's rolling 3 dice. He can add 1 to one of them and he hits in a 5 or 6. That becomes a 5, so he gets 3. Okay. And then the cleric can't shoot, obviously. They also have a longbow plus 1, so they're exactly the same. They're actually 3 figures. They don't get a plus 1 there. So 3 figures, range plus dex. Wow, okay. 3 more hits there. So that's 12 hits, which means it kills 3 of the heroes, leaving only 2 heroes remaining. Now they're going to use the Staff of Command. So these heroes will get a saving throw. Let's look that up. Wow. That was a matter of good dice rolling, actually, more than anything else there. All right, so Staff of Command effectively works like a charm person. So I'm just looking up the saving throw. Heroics save on a dice roll of 8 or better. That's on 2 dice. But a Staff of Command, the amount of creatures you can command is limited. So let me roll for that. This is, by the way, in Monsters and Treasure, the Staff of Command. Let's see. 2 to 8 with 4 to 6 hit dice. Well, since we only need to get 2 of them, it actually controls the last 2, and they command them to surrender, which they do. All right, so we have now captured 2 of these. So that changes things quite a bit. Let's stop for a second and look at this group of bandits again. All right, rolling back a second for the Staff of Command. I got excited and also did the math wrong here. There should have been 1 more hero that was shooting into the party this whole time. You know, I didn't do it just like I wouldn't do it in an actual game. I'm not going to go back and add it. So, but what I am going to do is roll to see how many of them are potentially charmed by the Staff of Command because it might not get all of them now. 4. Okay, so 4 and 4, so 8. So yeah, it would. So potentially they are all charmed. So let me make a roll. They need to get an 8 or better to resist. Oh, the first one resists. The second one resists. The third one resists. Okay, so they actually all resist the Staff of Command, which basically means they are going to, since heroes don't check morale, they're going to basically shoot into the group. So there were 6 of them. So there's 3 left. And actually all 3 of these guys have magical shields, so they're going to take 5 hits to kill. They're going to shoot into the group again. It's simultaneous, so you know, it'll all happen at once, but I'm just going to do them first. So there's 3 of them. Let's see who they target. Okay, so they're each targeting a separate person. Before I roll any of this, I'm just going to see if it's even possible for them to... Yes, number 1 could potentially kill this character because they don't have any kind of shields or anything, and they're rolling 4 dice. They're rolling 5 dice. If they get 3 6s, they'll take them down. Of course, the cleric will try to heal them, but they do not. Okay. Number 5 is the cleric. They can't hurt them because of the plate armor and the number of hit dice they have. They have a shield +2, so there's potential that they could do it, but they'd have to get 5 6s. But let me just roll. No. Okay. This is the same round, by the way, because remember, you get two missile volleys in a round. All right, well, there's only 3 of them left. We're going to let loose again. So again, they get 1 die per. They've got the the horse bow. They've got the horse bow, so they get 1 die per. Let's see, horse bow. 1 die per with 6 hitting. So they get 5 for their hit dice and 1 for the range. They're rolling 6 dice. 6s are hits. They get 1. Okay. They get 2 for the number of figures they are, 1 for dexterity, 1 for range, and they can add 1 to one of these. 5 and 6s are hits. Okay, so 2. They get 1 fewer, so they get 3 dice. They can add 1 to one of these. 5s and 6s are hits. So that's boom. They get 4 dice. 5 dice, actually, but no bonuses. 5s and 6s are hits. 1, 2, 3, 4 hits. That's a total of 8. But remember, all of these remaining guys have shields that count, that take away a hit. So one guy takes 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1 for the shield, leaving only 3 hits. That only takes out 1 more hero, leaving 2. So they don't check morale, and they are kind of wild. So I'm going to say they're going to go at least 1 more round of combat before they try to flee. They're not idiots, right? I mean, they are heroes, so they can run, but they don't technically check morale. So let's do 1 more round. And I think what we're going to do, since there's only 2 of them, I feel like we might run up on them. Are we better in melee? I don't think so. I think we're better at range. So we're going to keep doing what we're doing, with the exception of they're going to try it again. They're going to try the Staff of Command again. Actually, you know what? Yeah, they're going to try the Staff of Command again. They've got a ton of charges. We've tried 1 charge on it so far. Let me make a note of that. Okay. So again, Staff of Command, everybody else except for the cleric is going to missile. They're going to stand by for any healing. And I'll do the enemy again just because. So there's 2 of them. Who are they targeting? I think they're smart enough now to know they need to focus fire. I'm just going to roll 1 die. Who's getting a shot at? 3. This character here in Chainmail. So again, it's treated 1 level lower. So they're actually -1 on the dice. They're actually impervious to a short bow being shot by at this point, because they're treated as, the short bow is treated as 1 level lower, but there is no level lower. So they get a -1, right? So a short bow against heavy foot is 1 die per 2, 6 hitting, but you can't get more than the 6, right? So they basically are impervious. So they bounce right off there. I guess they thought, oh, little elf, they're probably fine with their tiny little elfy armor, but that's magical elfy armor. Okay, they'll not do that again. So I'm going to say they remember that, and they're not going to shoot at her again. So let's go back to the party. Hobbit. 5 dice. 1 for the range. 6s are hits. 1, 2. Our elf here has a longbow. They are 2 figures. 1 for the range. 1 for the dexterity bonus. They can add 1 to one of these rolls. 5s and 6s are hits. Nothing. Okay. They're exactly the same, but they don't get the dex bonus. So 2, 3 dice, 5s and 6s hit. They can add 1 to one of them. 3 5s. Okay. Back down to them. They get 3 dice for the figures, 1 for the range, 1 for the dexterity. 5s and 6s hit. 1, 2, 3, 4 hits. That's 9. 1, 2, 3, 4 plus 1 kills 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. The last one is up. Okay, the last one's still up after this first round. That last one is going to shoot. I mean, I think it makes sense for them to aim at somebody with no armor. So what I'm going to do to be fair here is I'm going to say 1. 1. They're the only person not wearing any armor. So they're going after them. So they've got 4 dice. 6s are, 5 dice. 6s are hits. 1 hit, but they have 3 hit dice. That misses. The party turns around to shoot back. Again, this is now round 2 of combat. Well, round 3 if you count the surprise round. Hobbit, 5 plus 1 for range. 6s hit. 1, 2, 3 hits. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't do the staff of command. Did they succeed? Oh, they failed. They're safe. Okay. So they are actually commanded to stop. So we're not going to kill that last one because we have 1 that is commanded. Okay, so the way I do a staff command is, just so you know, they can keep trying, unlike a charm person, where I might be like, you can't just keep trying to charm somebody. But the staff of command costs 1 charge per turn. So we're going to quickly command them to stop. That's within their nature, because even though they're wild, they're deadly outnumbered. They saw all their friends die, so I'm not going to give them another save for that. They are going to ask them to drop their weapons, though, which they might get. I'm going to give them a save. If they make this save, then they're going to try to fight on, and we're going to get into a quick melee. If they don't, then they're just going to completely surrender and let themselves be tied up. Yeah, they completely surrender. Okay, so that takes 2 turns. So now I've used 3 charges for that, this combat. I still have a ton of charges left. Let's see. I've only used a total of 6 charges in the past, so 9, and I started with 100, so yeah. Okay, so we have captured one of these 4th level bandits, and they are basically in our sway. Now, I'm going to say, because actually I'm going to cost myself 1 more turn to do this, I'm going to have them, since they already failed double saves, they're not going to get another one, I'm going to have them give us the information about their camp. And they will. So what we're going to find out is that they've got 7 more people, and the rest of them are all like really, powerful, high level warriors, including 2 lords. So we know that's a problem. We also know that they're waiting for the orcs to come back to defeat these Balrogs because they want the treasure, and that 70 orcs escaped. So I guess what I need to do now is decide, like, what is it that the group would do? They could sneak up and try to take out these last bandits, which would be a heck of a fight because we've got superheroes here versus our characters who, I mean, if we get lucky, we might have a chance, especially with an army behind us. But I think it's going to be a tough fight to take out some superheroes and swashbucklers and stuff like that, even in Chainmail. It would make way more sense for us to try to negotiate with them and have them help us, or we could help them rather defeat this Balrog / orcs if we can just have them leave and, we can clear the rest of the dungeon ourselves. We can sacrifice out of the dungeon, although that other map did cost us quite a bit of gold. So this one's up in the air. I think I'm going to roll an Oracle on this. You know, instead of deciding for myself, I'm just going to say, what do the player characters do? Do we effectively go in and try to sneak up and take out these high-level bandits by surprise right now? So that's the first question. Are we just going to go in there and try to take them out in their sleep or whatever? Because again, we could certainly do that. Yes, yes, and we didn't get any kind of modifier. So we are going to go and try to take them out right now. So, let's see how that goes. If you've been enjoying these actual plays, please do take a second to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Be sure to check the description. You'll find links to most of, if not all, the things I use here, and make a comment below if you have something you'd like to say, questions about the game, etc. I'm always open to that. Talk to you soon.